Golden State Media Concepts social media podcast. Time to hashtag everything with
Mariano
and Pauline.
Hashtag Pauliano. We talk about all the fun, crazy stories on social media. From Instagram to Facebook, Twitter to Tumblr, or probably even Friendster. Join us each week as we explore the quirky side of social media. It's the Golden State Media Concepts social media podcast.
It's simple, such a sad song. The one that we rely on to get us.
Hi, welcome to the Golden State Media Concepts social media news podcast. I'm Pauline.
and I'm Mariano.
And together we're
Pauliano.
So, things are changing. Everything is changing in the world. How, cell phones are changing all the time. They're getting smaller. They're touchscreen. You can.
Well, you know what's funny?
Watch.
They were really big, and then they got really small, and now they're getting bigger again.
Yeah, it's
I love
going
that.
back and forth.
Yeah.
And I saw this thing on the internet one time that on the iPhone we have the icon for your phone to use a dialer to call someone.
Oh,
The way that it looks, there on the internet, it was like one day there's going to be a time when kids aren't going to know what that symbol is because phones don't look like that. They're just flat, they don't have a receiver.
I get what you're saying.
And an earpiece anymore. They're always evolving.
They're going to be like, Mom, what is this?
Exactly.
Like when somebody sees a TV that's not a flat screen and they're like...
Exactly. It's like this huge box.
A VCR?
So everything is changing. And even the music players and things like that, they don't have a CD as the icon anymore,
right,
because nobody really uses that.
Now it's just a little music note.
Right. Exactly. So things are always changing and growing and evolving, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it's only a good thing. But what I find interesting is the new way now to become famous or to get kind of notoriety.
Yeah, you can.
It seems like back then, people were either... I feel like back in the day, people just had to be kind of genetically gifted.
Yeah. And it really was, I think also who you knew, too. Because, you had to get, a step in. It wasn't... if nobody...
Or just
if
be
you
privileged.
Didn't get discovered,
right.
If you weren't... So I think that's, where that draw, especially with, actors and singers, you have to go to LA, or if you're a country singer, you have to get to Tennessee. So
you gotta go to Mississippi.
You have to get there.
Yeah, you have to sip moonshine.
Right, but nowadays, with the internet and social media, almost it seems like anybody can get famous.
I don't know, because it seems like anybody can get famous, but how come everybody's not famous? So it's...
Oh, yeah, right? You have to have that right formula.
Exactly. So it seems interesting. The new way to get famous is interesting. It's not the same anymore.
It isn't the same.
Now the big people and the big earners too are the YouTube famous people.
Yes. YouTube, people off YouTube make millions
money.
of dollars.
Yeah, I know.
I think the person, I forget who put this I want to say it was off... I don't remember, but okay, I saw that YouTube earners, because now there's actually companies that will sponsor and sign you to a job, actually employ you to be YouTube famous, whether it's makeup tutorials or
because it's content, it's constant clicking it, people are looking, and
it generates a lot of money, and
exactly
it does become a full-time job. I know people think being internet famous is easy. Well, I don't know personally, but I do know that they you have it is a job, and so especially if you're sponsored by a company that wants you to generate content, say for instance on YouTube,
right,
there's a certain amount of videos and clicks and interactions that you have to that you have to draw in order to stay employed.
Like a baseline, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, what I notice is it must be hard to find things that people like that much amongst the other things that people like that much.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, what's your formula? When I'm going through YouTube and I'll watch videos, a lot of what I watch is either basketball clips or well,
sometimes I watch makeup tutorials and pretend.
Yeah, I don't do that. No, you know what I do watch though? One thing I want to do so bad. 3 things I want to do in my lifetime. I want to get shaved by a barber, with a single razor type thing.
Oh no, yeah, you should. Oh, I know a guy in Sacramento that does it.
Oh,
it's
see?
my brother's.
Okay.
No, it's really nice.
Right?
It's a big difference.
I want to try that. And I want to have shoes shined by that little dude that like sits on the thing
Yes.
and does it like on your feet. That looks so cool. And I want to get fitted for a custom suit.
Yeah.
That must be an awesome feeling with like a
Right.
big cigar in my mouth. Just
Right. Yeah. Just living the dream.
exactly. I say, my dear boy, these colours are quite thin.
Old chap.
Old chap.
That's my favorite.
It's fantastic, old bean.
I love that movie.
That should be fun.
Yeah, it would. It is.
Right.
And
Or just do it all together. Get my shoes
doing
shined while I'm
everything,
getting
just having
custom
a day.
tailored with a
Just having
cigar.
a day.
Exactly. And getting shaved at the same
yeah. So it is interesting how people are getting famous, and it's kind of just being like original. I know that there's
That's a big one. I like that you said that. Originality is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard these days.
But the world is so big. Like, okay, say for instance, like with beauty bloggers and
Mm-hmm.
girls who do, or even guys too, who do makeup tutorials or
Uh-huh.
whatever online. There's so many out there, but the world, like, since everybody, it seems like, has access to the internet,
yeah.
you and your best friend can both have your own video channels as far as like makeup tutorials, whatever, and
Right.
have two completely different audiences and still both be really
Yeah,
famous.
that's true.
Even though
That-
you guys are doing the exact same thing.
That's true. But then there was that guy that did the Finding Dory one.
Oh, I know. Did you see him? I think he goes by Crispy.
Crispy.
Yeah,
His
his
show
is-
is crispy too.
And he
It's-
did that Dory, Finding Dory
It's
tutorial.
good too.
It's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen it, you need to check that out. It's a Finding Dory makeup tutorial, and it's
He looks like Dory.
yeah. He actually looks like a fish. It's
He
just
changes
his face. Yeah.
entire face.
It's
to look
really
like
good.
her.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too, is people invest a lot of time and money.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get at.
Yeah,
is-
with like his equipment and like his craft, like the tools that he needs.
and I know makeup's expensive.
Yeah, and it was really impressive.
Girls get so and like brushes and every like this stuff adds
yeah,
up.
It does. It really does.
And he had like, but one thing that I thought, when we talked about it's not easy, like to do those things is not easy. Like this podcast, maybe 30 minutes, but you have to sit and edit it. Like
Right.
making videos can be a hassle, and a lot more goes into it than the 5 minutes that the
that we
people see. Exactly.
Yeah, like the finished product, but even just the time to like record it,
Right.
and then editing, and just coming up with content
Yeah.
and things like that,
and setting up the
sometimes
lighting
can
because it's a
be-
video, and like
Yeah.
all those different things. And then going back, because he made it like kind of fast forward, like so it's that stuff takes time, and it came out really good, but it's well polished.
Yeah,
that
and I
took
think
a while.
that has a big deal to do with it too, because nowadays, especially like with YouTube, people are really
They're stepping up the production quality.
yes, and so like if you're just starting out, which is fine, like anybody should start out if
Yeah.
they want to, because you never know what could happen.
Yeah, we know you can get super
But
famous.
You can get, but it's like the quality of these videos are not just like, oh, I'm just sitting in my room and recording this off my laptop.
Right. 'Cause some people
they
do
have
that.
full-on studios in their house.
Seriously, and these people though, but that's the lifestyle.
Yeah.
These people want to make content, they put it out, and they do what has to be done.
And I mean, if you believe in it, then why not? If
Exactly.
that's what you want.
And
to
it's
do.
not just YouTube, it's not just videos. Like the Instagram people, like I follow a lot of fitness people, and their pictures always look like top quality. I wonder what they're paying for a photographer, or if they're even paying for that. Like if
Right.
they have sponsors and
Oh yeah,
you
and
know-
that's the other thing with getting like internet famous, because you can really build your brand
exactly.
on the internet.
But you're your own brand, so
And so
people want to associate you with their brand.
Exactly, and they want you to like endorse them, and so it's just wild to me
Yeah.
how like you can really, because if you say for instance, like if you're an internet celebrity or internet personality, I don't know what they call themselves,
Like me.
yeah,
Just kidding.
just like you, then
Tay, what's up, by the way?
you can you can get a lot of things for free and get that help and sponsorship.
Yeah.
Just because they know that your reach is so massive
Exactly.
that they want to pay you or give you things to like have you promote it.
Right.
On
That's what
whatever it is that your platform is.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Did you know that I'm really famous in Korea?
I did not know that.
That's because I bought 2 wives on the internet. And
Shut
so
up, Mariano. Oh my gosh. No, hush. Moving along. So anyways, some people do get famous for their craft.
I got 1 half off.
On the internet. Shut up. Some people do get famous, like I said, for their craft. Other people get internet famous due to their bodies.
Yes.
And so,
But you know what? That can be your craft. Like if they work hard. Like there's this guy, Devin Physique, who I follow on Instagram.
True.
Amongst a lot of others, but I mean, he puts time and effort into his body.
True.
So
I mean, if people just wanted to pay me just because like I was sitting here smiling all day, I would love that.
who wouldn't?
No, I know. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Why aren't you Oprah yet? Like
I
you
don't.
should.
I don't know what's taking me so long. It's fine. You know, I'm just waiting on my moment.
I was going to say, just waiting on your time.
Yeah,
It's coming.
Started from the bottom.
But now we're here.
now I'm like, not the last
I was gonna
step,
say.
but I'm like step 4.
I started from the bottom. I'm not all the way
on like
here.
a 55-step process. So I'm not at the bottom, but I'm working my way up. Like it's looking good for me.
The forecast is generally
Exactly.
positive.
So when we come back from this break, we will discuss other famous people that have been discovered through the internet that you may or may not have known.
Chewbacca Mom, what up?
Chewbacca Mom.
Right.
Also, how social media is our new form of
news in
current
general.
events.
Yeah,
just getting up to date.
It's
on
just the quickest
anything
way to
that's
tune
happening.
in.
Exactly, and then some famous people. Well, semi-famous, famous by association. No, she's famous on her own. Aisha Curry. She's
Yeah.
famous on her own.
Yeah.
Actually, she has a cooking channel now, and she started also doing her cooking channel on the internet. So that's another person. Wow, we need to get an internet channel, a YouTube channel.
We should.
Let's just watch us.
Let's just
Hashtag
become,
Pollyanna.
I know, hashtag Pollyanna.
We should think about this. What would we do on there? I can't
Well-
do makeup tutorials.
Or you guys could vote for me for president, and then I'll just make it mandatory. Then we'll become famous by default.
We'll just vote for anybody for president nowadays. So
just-
we'll catch you later when we come back from this break.
We'll be right back.
Are you looking for help for your fantasy football team? Check out the GSMC Fantasy Football Podcast. Get today's best advice on who to start, who to sit, even who you should draft. From sleeper picks to red hot lineups, they got it all covered for you. That's gsmcpodcast.com/fantasy-football-podcast. We'll cover traditional leagues, dynasty, PPR, even IDP leagues. When you need fantasy help, there's just one show to hit up. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
And we're back. Thanks for
back.
holding on to those awesome advertisements, although you probably had fun because they're super cool. Now, I'm Mariano,
I'm Pauline.
and we're Pollyanno.
Poliano.
Okay. So let's just jump right into one of my favorite things to witness naked, and that is Kim Kardashian.
Wow.
I went there.
He did. He just dove right off there. Like, he didn't even give us a warning. Just dive in.
Kanye.
Whoa.
What up?
Hey, you better watch out. He might come for you. He's crazy.
He'll run into a stop sign on the way here.
He doesn't. Wow. Oh, my God.
Oh, come on.
We apologize.
I don't apologize.
I want to babysit
Kim, what
North.
up?
Don't ruin my chances.
Oh, I forgot
Never
they had a baby. Never mind, guys.
They do have a baby. They have 2 babies.
Oh, sorry.
And Saint.
Enjoy your family. Love you.
Well, I mean, if they want to give us tickets to the San Jose Kanye West concert, I would not be mad. I would go. I've seen Kanye.
You know what,
concert.
Kanye? I forgive you.
Oh, he forgives
Just
you.
give us some tickets, and we'll call it even.
We'll call it even. Sorry that
Totally
you married
even.
your wife.
Exactly.
And I'm just so upset.
Right.
But clearly he doesn't mind sharing. I mean, well, not share. I don't know. I mean,
I was like, really?
well, I mean, I don't know. It's
Actually,
just that,
yeah. Have you heard his last album?
I mean, to each his own.
Hey, Kim, what up? I'm just saying.
It's
like,
wow.
add me to the list or however it goes. You know, I'll sign in as a
Why don't
guest.
You try to get with somebody new every show.
Hey, this is a podcast. I'm taking advantage. I come a long way to do
hey,
this.
I'm only on step 4.
I'm somewhere like step 5.5. So
Okay. Goals.
Kim, Tay-Tay,
Goals.
hit me up.
Career goals. You're my career
We
goals.
can double date, whatever you want to.
Anything.
Anything.
He's down.
Pretty
he likes
much.
French fries.
I love French fries.
But so Kim, she is pretty famous due
Yes.
to like reality TV and social media has
Yeah.
definitely upped her career.
So did Ray J.
And so we're just gonna bypass that. But because of social media and like
Right.
reality TV and everything,
One
it
thing-
might have been like a scandal.
Yeah.
But now it's like
Well, you know what I think? I think that she might have been amongst the first ones to make it from a scandal to a career. And one
and
thing,
put everybody on. I mean, that's one thing about her.
I was
she
gonna say-
puts her whole team on.
well,
like,
not just that, but on it, like it seems almost like the popular opinion now to hate on the Kardashians. But hey, they took whatever little fame she had and they made it into.
I mean, their mom is a genius.
Yeah.
I've always said if Kris Jenner decides to teach, it can be like a workshop. I will
Yeah.
pay any kind of money because like she literally turns every bad situation that happens to her into more money. Like anything that happens to her and her family, Kris makes it money. Like money. Like,
let's just get adopted. Forget Chewbacca, Mom.
I mean, she doesn't even have to adopt me. Like, she could just give me that wisdom.
Yeah,
like,
I'll take the adoption.
Because anything that happens bad to them, or like that people are like, oh gosh, this is tragic. How are they going to recover? They're like, we're fine. We're sitting on our bed of money.
She's
not
like,
a problem.
yeah, it's really terrible. Let me just write this book that's $14,000 for a copy.
And they do other things. Like, I know like Coco has Cocktails with Chloe. So like they turn one venture into more opportunities, which I think is really smart.
They're smart.
And you can't be mad. If people are going to pay for it, regardless of what everybody else says, they're always getting trash talked about them. But I mean, like, they're always...
I know. And hey, Kim looks good naked. Let's just be upfront.
I mean, she does. I mean, if you're paying, you better. If I'm paying somebody a lot of money to look like one way, I better look good. So
yeah. And Kim, don't even worry. You're not going to have to pay. I'll give you a discount.
Oh my.
Just
anyway,
let me know.
Other people that have also gotten famous off the internet, Kim, I think, is probably the most well-known.
Prominent, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
well, she's one of the biggest celebrities, period, I think, right now.
I think so. I would give her that.
Most talked about, I would think.
Really, yeah. And I think everybody knows her.
Yeah.
And so, which is pretty cool, because I mean, like, hey, do your thing. But also Tori Kelly.
Yep,
she is a singer, and she started off on YouTube as well. And I think that's kind of the cool thing about YouTube is a lot of people do like covers or like they write their own songs.
Yeah.
And you can get discovered. Justin Bieber.
The Biebs, I know.
So it can turn into anything. I guess it kind of, in a way, kind of started, I guess it's kind of like a segue of, well, not segue, I don't know what to call it. Kind of like a spin-off from like shows like American Idol. Where if people like you enough, well, then you can get big enough and you can get famous enough.
I want to say that in the later seasons of American Idol, like you can go and audition, but they also find really famous YouTube singers. And
you can do video submissions. Like,
right.
Yeah. And
no, I mean, you can do video submissions, but they also look for like...
Oh, I see what you're saying.
For so like really,
you can get spotted that way.
Like if you have huge views, then they'll
because like, and just like getting scouted for almost anything nowadays, you could do it off the internet.
I know.
Off social media, like singing, acting, modeling.
I saw this...
Pictures.
Okay, well, here's
Instagram.
Here's a funny story, okay? I might have said this, I don't know. Did I tell you about the wedding in October that's coming up?
Oh, yeah.
Did I tell you what I'm going to be doing?
Training.
For
the girlfriend. Oh, no, not the girlfriend.
for the super awesome
the cousin. Yeah.
Yeah, but did I tell you what kind of training I was doing?
No.
Did I tell you that I was doing the bachelorette party?
Oh, my gosh.
Yep.
Here it goes.
Oh, yeah. So I'm doing...
Well, it's just full of surprises every day. Yeah. Never a dull moment. But
you see, that's the point that's the spice of life. I want to squeeze it in, right?
Right.
So... I meant that figuratively, people. So I'm kidding.
See what I'm saying? Never a dull moment.
No, but here's the thing. She told me about the cousin, and she was like, yeah, you should do the bachelorette party, because she knew that I did some dancing when I was in LA. And I was like, okay.
Mariano is and he just, all these secrets.
So it's not a secret. So I was like, okay, fine. So I've been watching like tutorials on different like dance moves and just kind of brushing up. And I see some of these guys are really good, and I'm like, man. And then I saw these girls dancing like it looks like a giant hamster wheel. Have you seen this? Like, I don't know how else to describe it.
No.
It's like think of like a girl being like 5'6". Now think of like a big like 8 foot tall, just big round metal hamster wheel looking thing. And she rolls around it like in a weird elaborate ways. Like, it's hard to describe, but look it up.
Sounds odd.
No, it looks really cool. It does sound odd, but it's...
Well, if you guys want to look it up and let me know how it goes, #Polyano.
Exactly.
Because I'm not going to look it up.
Right.
So you guys can tell me your opinion.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, yeah, even in that, people can get famous off that.
Right.
You know, whatever your craft is.
Oh, or like the Pentatonics. Have you seen them?
No.
They're an a cappella singing group, and they're so good.
Yeah, see, and it's like really cool. I think that's like the fun of social media, is that the opportunities really are endless.
Right.
And if you are willing to put in the time and dedication, then why not? And especially if you have, and I think, well, I just think, like America's Got Talent, like all that, it's kind of like the same premise, but you can almost even, I would even, dare to say that you can get more famous being internet famous.
Yeah, I feel like you could, because I've never seen
on like one of those.
I've never seen
like
one of those talent show people get that famous.
Right. I know they get like a show.
Yeah, maybe like Vegas, an album, but but there's a different level of fame that comes from,
and I guess you're almost like able to like work for yourself.
Yeah,
and you can pocket a lot of money.
Well, the thing is, again, that's kind of the mentality I take in my own businesses. You want to be valuable, plain and simple. If you're the brand, if you're what people want, then you're valuable.
Right.
I've heard, artists like they'll do with this recording company, and then they have the rights to the songs, and then they sell them regardless of what the artist may want, and those problems. But then there's those people that they're the valuable ones, so it doesn't matter where you go, it doesn't matter what you do, you hold value, period. And I love the idea of that.
Right.
So I love too that social media gives people kind of the outlet to be creative, because it's,
it
in
does.
my opinion, everybody has something that they'd be world class at. It's just that how many people before, like YouTube and all this, would really be brave enough to give it a shot?
True.
So now that these things are out there, now these people will really, hey, let's build a giant hamster wheel and dance on it. And they're like, oh, okay. And they might be really good at it, and somebody might like it. It might be really cool. And you would never know if you didn't try.
Exactly. Exactly.
Or think of Kimbo Slice. Rest in peace, Kimbo Slice.
I know.
He started on YouTube.
Yeah, he did.
And he went to the UFC. And he was
did.
on The Ultimate Fighter. These people build,
You can really
empires.
turn it. Yeah. You can turn it into huge, like you said, empires. You really can, just through the internet, which is, I wish I had like a talent or something so I can videotape it. I don't know. So I can get internet famous. But to each his own.
You should tell your best friend to help you, Beyonce.
Beyonce, I know. Beyonce, she hasn't called me back in a couple weeks. I'm not speaking to her.
You need to
right
check
now.
her. No, she's not speaking to you if she hasn't called you back.
No, we're done. Beyonce, we're done.
I'm moving on.
Yeah. So when we come back from this next break, we're going to discuss just how current events and social media are now
intertwined,
and also some of the fun things because of social media that we get to see and experience with some of our favorite celebrities.
Exactly. So we will talk to you right after this.
We'll be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
I missed you.
I missed you.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't.
People lie to me all the time. Ryan always tells me he misses me, but he doesn't. He just does not. He's sitting in the room with me. How can you miss someone when you're with them?
Well, that's because it just sounds polite. Can you believe me?
Well, thanks for being a gentleman. I appreciate that.
I almost brought out my accent. I missed you, my dears. Quite terrible being away for these advertisements.
Well, so we've been talking a lot this show about how social media has catapulted a lot of
people
celebrities
into stardom. It's insane. Yeah. And how?
Yeah, just regular people and, making them into celebrities. But the other fun side about social media and celebrities is that we get to really see... We get a more personal, intimate look.
We get a much
the good, the bad.
Yeah, it's
the funny.
It sounds harsh, but a way more penetrating eye into their kind of personal lives. And to an extent, they do it to themselves. They post things and
there are some things that
they post and people are really angry about. Mm-hmm. I remember. Do you remember Drake Bell from Drake and Josh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Drake and Josh.
When Bruce Jenner came out as Caitlyn Jenner, Drake posted on Twitter, and it was sorry, still calling you Bruce or something, and then people blew him up.
Yeah,
and it's well, you keep it to yourself.
There are some controversial things that some celebrities will say, and it's okay, maybe you shouldn't have posted that, and then they'll go and delete it, and then that becomes more talk.
Right?
It's why did you delete it
exactly,
or whatever. But then, I think I like that we had talked about this before. Is that the cool thing, especially about things like Twitter, you can go back and forth when people get into Twitter arguments.
I love that.
Oh, I love it. Oh, my God.
Twitter battles.
So, yes. Yeah. First of all, why would you argue with somebody that you've never met on the internet?
Because,
first of all.
Because sometimes people have the craziest world views. Like it's,
But like, who cares? Like, just keep it scrolling. You can laugh, or you
Okay,
can be like,
okay,
like,
fine.
you should not ruin your day because somebody's just
I agree,
stupid.
but in all honesty, if I have time, I'll just do it because I have
Just
time.
for fun.
Yeah.
I just like to go back and like read everything. I'm like,
Me
this is
too.
getting
Actually,
good.
I like that better too. To go back and read the arguments.
But I even love it when like,
I love when somebody breaks the tension with a funny meme.
yeah, oh yes. Or like when celebrities just like argue with other celebrities, and it's like they just start airing out everybody's like laundry. I think
Oh.
it's so funny. Which I mean, I think that you should not air people's laundry on social media. If you really have a problem with somebody, and if you don't know that person, you shouldn't have a problem with them because
Yeah.
it's just like,
Well, people take
You
it
don't
too
know
serious.
them.
That's the problem.
but then if you do know them, you should have enough respect for that person to call them or
punch him
meet
in the
up with
face like
them.
a gentleman.
Just something like, you shouldn't be like posting just random things on there.
But who are these? Like, we got some posts that people didn't like when Aisha Curry.
Oh yes, she was really upset about game 6 of this series that
Cavs and Golden State.
yeah,
and Steph Curry got thrown out. He got fouled out.
She did, and he did, excuse me. And she was really upset. She just basically went out and said that she believes that the NBA is rigged.
Yeah.
And see, things like that, like, that's a fair emotion for her to have. Like,
Yeah.
she's upset, not a problem. If she would have just said that to, like, her friends, they would have
Exactly.
either agreed with her or, like, it could have
Exactly,
just
but she
been
put it up on
done
social
deal.
media where she must have a crazy amount of followers.
She does. I
Almost
think
as
she
much
does.
as I do.
And so, and so, like, then that becomes like a problem.
Right.
Well, people make it a big deal just because it's her, and now but then at the same time, as somebody, like, as Steph's wife, like, she's allowed to feel that way.
I totally agree. I mean, I've never thought of Steph Curry as like a big fouler anyway. I thought that was weird, but.
So, I
mean, if it happens, it happens, because I know playoff games at the same time get rough. And my point, though, is
I think a lot of people think the NBA is rigged, though. I think a lot of
but a lot of people think everything is rigged.
I was going to say, you could think of a conspiracy theory for
about
everything,
anything.
like
exactly.
everything.
I don't really trust you.
And so that's fine. He's so rude to me. I don't do anything to him. I'm so good to him.
Hey, I
Anyways.
folled her on Facebook. We're
She did.
even now. She
Oh, no,
did. Oh.
He did.
Okay, Pollyanna.
But then, like, not family. Like, oh, actually, that's what I was going to say. Family business should be, like, kept with family business.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, she and he could have, like, complained about it. And then, but now, because now we're talking about it, that adds more fuel to the fire.
But my point in the whole thing was if it's something that she gets a lot of backlash for that she wasn't ready for or wasn't expecting, should have just kept it to yourself.
Yeah, but then at the same time, I think girls get kind of like, because we're supposed to like always, especially when your husband or like your spouse is like famous, then you either become famous because they are famous also, or you may have your own career and things like that. But then for some reason, women who are married to like famous guys or whatever, they always have to like watch what they say and things, because then it's like paired up with what their husband is doing. So, like,
you're right.
So like
It's
sometimes
associated.
they just they're always like associated, and so I think that's why this is such a big deal, because it's just like, oh, this is Steph's wife. But honestly,
Well,
a lot of people are tweeting that the NBA is rigged after these last few games.
Yeah.
So it's fine. It's not really that big of a deal. It's just that it's because of who she is that it's a big deal. And it just adds, because like honestly, like when I saw that she posted that, I was like, oh, she's mad.
I think that,
but like you keep scrolling, it's not that big of a deal.
You know what I think is social media kind of has, I think of it as like a wave effect. Like if something happens and a lot of people feel the same way about it, they all ride each other, and like, and they kind of backpack off of each other, and like they'll agree with each other, and then the one person who disagrees, they all jump on that person. So it's like it's like
everybody just follows.
It's
the
a
leader.
snowballing type effect.
And especially if you're famous, if the media dubs something wrong or something great.
Right, and someone famous has a problem with it, then they're like, how dare you in particular.
Exactly, like you can't have a different opinion
Social
at all.
media to me has become, it's like a huge, I think of it like a big power shift all the time. Like give us a topic, and then people would jump on one side, then jump on the other side, and I just sit and watch the whole thing go back and forth. And when a famous person, for some reason, they have more pull, like people will if you feel the same way as a celebrity, you're like, oh, I'm more justified because this person feels this way.
I agree.
Right?
Which, in a way, can be used for good.
Yeah, for good, absolutely. It
can be.
It's interesting to see the debates, the battles, and what people decide to spend their time battling on, you know?
Oh, I know. Some people on social media have way too much time.
Some people are terrible. If you guys ever want to see the absolute worst of humanity, go to like the happiest YouTube video you've ever seen and just read the comments.
Oh, I know.
Seriously.
Comments on like videos or like pictures.
I've seen dislikes on like a baby laughing video.
Oh,
Seriously.
and I think, well, like, okay, like, for instance, like when people post like pictures on Instagram and they start, like a celebrity will post something on Instagram and then people will just start like tearing into them. And I'm like, just, if you don't like something or you don't agree with something, just keep it scrolling. Like, you don't need to comment. You don't need to bring somebody else down. You don't need to, you know, come at somebody in such a negative way just because you don't agree. Like, just keep scrolling.
Right.
But
you know how people are though. Like it's just an interesting thing because but I wonder, as a celebrity, do they even care? Do they even see that? I mean,
honestly, if I was a celebrity, I would be like, care. Whatever.
There's so many comments. I feel like
I'm still cutting my check. Not a problem.
I mean, I feel like the majority is positive. So, you know, you're going to have
hate it or love it.
Yeah.
You know?
You're going to have a few people who dislike it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And social media, I mean, it can be used for good. One thing that I think is really amazing about social media is how up to date and current things are on like my timeline, especially on Twitter and things like that. And there's a lot of current events that happen that I think the way that the media has to portray them, certain instances, good or bad, they're not allowed. I mean, I think they're not given as much leeway now because people can post in real time.
Right.
Current events that are happening, they can record in real time.
I think the way that they keep it like on top, the news, is with the witnesses and all these things that they go out of their way to do, like interviews.
Right.
Because
but
social
then
media,
there's been times even where like, so say for instance, like a news anchor or like a reporter is out on the scene and is doing something, like doing a reporting job, and they're covering an event, but then because it may have been recorded, or even if it's live, you know, when we're watching it, it's a little bit delayed,
right?
Which is totally fine, not a problem. They're trying to stay as current as possible,
right.
But through social media,
it's
if you're
faster
on your timeline, and watching the news, you're like, okay, this is old. Like, this is a new development in the story.
It is crazy. The world is changing so much.
Because like even like with the newspaper. Like,
I thought that
old.
just
like,
the other day.
You have to go online, like, and even something that's why I think, like, especially online articles are always getting updated. Like, even if you read the same article today
it'll be
and then
adjusted.
in a couple of hours, it's always updated with new information. And so I love that.
I love it too.
Media.
It's the age of information for sure, and it's just interesting because people use it for the right reasons and the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
it's just, you know, stay informed, stay on top of. Not so much on top of current events, but stay on top of figuring out how to use social media for your advantage, because it is possible. Social media opens up a totally new world in terms of just self-advertising, but stay genuine, stay creative.
Yeah, stay creative.
Otherwise, you're just going to seem derivative.
And just stay focused.
Exactly. Yeah, stay focused. That must be hard too. Because
and not letting, especially when you're coming up, like, okay, if you're a celebrity like Kimberly, or, well, Kim Kardashian, I know.
Is that her name, Kimberly?
Yeah. Oh. If you're at her height of fame, she really could care less what anybody says about her.
Well, you say that, but we don't know that. It must be, you know,
right.
Maybe
well, I would hope, you know, because it's like at the end of the day, she's making money for literally not doing anything.
Right.
As far, like, she doesn't have to do, like, she can go a full day laying in bed and she's still going to be making money that day.
Lucky.
And so I think it's people when, but I'm sure she still feels things, 'cause like she's still a person, she still has feelings and everything. But when you're coming up and you're on, you know, in the spotlight and you're trying hard, like if you are a young person on YouTube trying to come up, or even trying to like build your brand on social media and using like Instagram to promote your brand, not letting haters like stop you. Like, 'cause what are the haters doing? They're just posting and they're just being annoying, but they're not doing anything.
Yeah, but they're the effect of it can be bad. Yeah. So stay focused.
Don't let it. Stay. Keep your circle small.
Right.
Let, like, you know, have your confidant.
I call it tunnel vision. Just keep looking forward.
Focused. And then, because if people stopped every time they were talked about, we wouldn't have a lot of the greats and famous
Exactly.
people that we have, because people are going to talk about you. And if they're not talking about you, good or bad.
Think of like the NWA, you know, all the stuff that they went through. But it's a different world, you know. So the message that we have for you guys today is stay focused, stay brave, stay creative. Don't let people bring you down.
Try new things. Try it. Why
Exactly.
not?
Try it.
If you have an idea and if you have a talent or a hobby and you want to showcase it and you feel like you can, then do it.
Yeah, do it.
There's nothing stopping you. You can use Periscope. Periscope, is that what it's called? Periscope.
Periscope.
I never know what any of this stuff is called. But yeah, you can use that. People are getting famous even off Snapchat, and that's not even really like a thing. Like, it deletes itself.
But, you know, try it. You know, you just never know. So
good luck.
We'll talk to you guys next time.
So listen to us. You can always listen to any of our episodes along with any of the other podcast shows on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and also on gsmcpodcast.com.
That's right. We will talk to you guys.
Catch you later.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.